Welcome to a walkthrough of the finale that concludes the prologue to Palia's main story questline. Completing this questline sets the stage for Chapter 1 and the main story in the new area Elderwood that has been teased for early 2025. Anyone who's completed the main questline, which includes completing the Temple of the Waves, Flames, Gales and Roots, should be ready for this quest that's been on hold for a while. It all starts with revisiting the Night Sky Temple on the east side of Kilima Village, where you have to talk to Gina. With that done, you'll have to await news from Subira at your home plot, which arrives in the form of a visit from Oni. Oni tells you to meet Subira in the Temple of the Waves. The Temple of the Waves is located in the north of Kilima as marked here. This starts the questline Troubled Waters. Once inside the temple, run on until you find Subira. Once close to her, a conversation automatically triggers. Subira says she will enter the next chamber first and for you to follow her. Move on further inside. As soon as you're inside the large cave area, another conversation will trigger before you're asked to investigate and report back on anything strange since the last time you visited the temple. The first clue is the mysterious rock close to Subira. Interact with it to pick it up. Next, glide across to the temple on the other side. Once you land, head to the right where you'll find a bookshelf with multiple glowing lights. The shelf contains 3 books to interact with. The 2 you don't need are the easiest to click, but if you position yourself correctly, you can interact with the one on the top right side with the title cover, The Lost Cities. Move on to the left side of the temple area. Walk between the stairs and into the next room to find another 2 bookshelves with glowing lights. Once again, interact with the books and you'll notice that one book in each bookshelf is special. On the left shelf, it's the one called How I Saved the World. And on the right side, it's the one called Hydronomics 101. The others are presumably all minor lore entries. Turn around and move back into the room as the quest will update. And the door next to the bookshelves should now be glowing, so enter the new door. Talk to Subira and optionally ask about the runestone and how to get across. Getting over to the other side is a lot easier than it looks. Simply take a leap of faith and walk straight ahead to the first floating platform. Take a left and cross over to the next. Then take a right. In essence, you can walk across any straight path between 2 platforms as long as it's straight north, east, south or west. Alternatively, look at the plants. The correct path always connects 2 plants of the same color. With that in mind, navigate the rest of the puzzle until you reach a console. Interact with the console. We believe the only required step here is to read the user logs. We did that first, then checked for messages, and there's none. Then in the end check the protocol, though those last steps are likely not required. As you exit the console, the quest should update and allow you to talk to Subira once more. Subira tells you the trail leads towards the flooded fortress and the Temple of the Flames. This starts the questline Into the Fire. The Temple of the Flames can be accessed within the flooded fortress either by walking through the mines or arriving from the north, close to where you can exit your home plot as to get directly to Bahari Bay. Once there, head on into the temple and talk to Subira again. Walk towards the center of the temple. It's time to investigate. While there's no need to check in with Subira, you can't miss the glowing footprints next to her. Follow these footprints further on the left platform. Jump across, then climb up the ladder. Then climb up the next ladder to find another door. Read the note on the right side. This note will trigger an update of the quest and also explains the next step. and feel free to inspect the runestone. It is time to go fishing in hot waters. Head back down the 2 ladders, as you might have noticed something familiar to certain floating fishing pools in the Temple of the Gales. We decided to directly try with no bait, so we can't say for sure if it also works with bait. Start fishing, and presumably you will get the key on your first attempt, at least we did. With the key in hand, head back up to and enter the previously closed door. After talking to Sabira, it's time for some more fun that involves some level of skill and coordination. We should have failed at least twice, likely 3 times, but for some reason we escaped to the next part without a single reset. Yes, it was a shocking experience. You will need to have your bow and your pickaxe handy. In essence, you will be traveling on floating platforms while shooting an arrow at any and all bracers like this one, as to open a door in the end of each of these shorter corridors. In the second one, there are lasers to avoid. Touching them should reset you, though we had our first strange close encounter here, as you will see shortly. Being totally incompetent, we performed a bad jump, which indicated we touched the laser, but for some reason it did not reset us, but that was not all. In the next corridor, you also need to start using your pickaxe as to knock down crumbling walls in between. We got off to a very bad start, and then this happened. Or it didn't happen. We somehow dodged death again. But there is more. In the 4th corridor, it was laser time again. And you guessed it, we botched the jump again. This time we for sure should have died and seen a reset, so it's clear that some force was watching over us. Shockingly, we managed the last jump as to reach another console. Like before, we inspected the logs, checked for messages, then the protocols. Talk to Sabira to learn that your next target is the Temple of the Gales. The Temple of the Gales in Bahari Bay is for sure a location many Palians have learned to love and hate, but it is where you have to head next. This starts a new questline, up in the air. Once inside, talk to Sabira, then head on further inside. Once up on the main island, you will see Sabira close to the large nest with the silverwing eggs. That's not important though, what is are the glowing feathers scattered around. Follow them until you reach yet another closed door. Interact with the door to update the quest, as that will now tell you to find enough silverwing eggs to satisfy the riddle. You will also notice a glowing nest to the right of the door that allows you to place eggs into it. So where to get the eggs? If you turn around and look left or east, you will see Sabira. Head over to her. Optionally inspect the carpet and items close to her for clues about the person who you are tracking. Then if you walk a bit further behind on the island, you will pick up on the glowing feathers once again. Follow them on, as they will lead you onto a smaller temple behind the island. Enter the temple and locate a mysterious pack. Interacting with it will update the quest and ask you to open it. You can open the mysterious pack by opening your inventory and navigating to the Quest Item tab. As you open the pack, you will get several items. Most importantly, a stack of silverwing eggs required to open the door. Optionally, read the mysterious journal for some additional lore. Head back to Sabira to update her on what you have found. What you do with the shiny extras is up to you. Now it's time to open the door. Interact with the nest to the right of the door to place the eggs you just recovered from the pack. The quest will update as soon as you enter the room with the console. You know the drill. The important part is to check the user logs for the quest to update. Head back out of the room and update Subira. This starts the questline Rooted in Place. The next step requires you to enter the last of the temples, the Temple of the Roots, which is located in the north of Bahari Bay. When inside, talk to Subira, then take the first flowstone gate to the hub and another one there to the gardener. Talk to the gardener about the mysterious intruder you are chasing. It will quickly become clear that to get some information, you will first have to do the gardener a favor by placing a monitoring hub somewhere in Bahari Bay with a view of the aqueduct. Optionally, check in with Subira. Then head out of the temple and down to the south of Bahari Bay, just west of the lighthouse. You will find a spot to place the gardener's hub close to the larger tree there, overlooking the aqueduct to the north. Once done, speak to the gardener via the hub. He'll ask you to travel back to the Temple of the Gales to place the hub somewhere with a view of all the islands. As you enter the temple again, head towards the large nest on the starter island. Then take the wind stream across to the island with the rotating orb. Walk around the orb, then up the stairs, take a left and head up around. Now, looking back at the starter island, there's a smaller windmill on the tiny island just to your right. Simply glide over to it, as that's where you need to place the gardener's hub. Once done, you are asked to place the hub in Kilima. The location for this one is in the middle of Kilima village, close to the city hall with the blacksmith just across the street. Finally satisfied, head back to the gardener in the Temple of the Roots to get answers to your questions. Or shall we say, it will create new questions. The Rooted in Place quest concludes when you talk to Subira, and completing this questline also unlocks the unique Ancient Explorer nameplate. This is the end of the prologue, which sets the stage for Chapter 1 and the main story in the new Elderwood area that has been teased for early 2025. Do check our channel for a ton of Palia guides and showcases, and please don't forget to leave a comment, give us a thumbs up and subscribe.